In our previous episodes, we emphasized the significance of the pre-design phase in the industrial design process. Today, we continued this theme by exploring trend watching as a distinct field of research and its relevance to designers and clients in the creating future-proof products. Despite their decade-long existence, future studies and strategic foresight are constantly evolving to harness new technological opportunities for the benefits of the end users. Joining me today is Basia Strabel Harbacz, trend researcher with expertise in cool hunting and creative thinking with strategic foresight. Hello, Basia.
Hi, Anita. It's really nice to be here with you.
Great to have you here. I've heard that you've been in Paris lately to hunt some coolness. How was it?
Exactly. We went on a business trip on Paris Premiere Vision. This is the event which concentrates mostly on the textile and trends around it. But yeah, it was very inspiring and full of new thoughts for the next season. So yeah, I got really inspired there.
Awesome. So food for thoughts. That's always something good in design field. So today we are here to talk a little bit about trend research, so something that you definitely do for a living and you are very good at. I was wondering before that conversation that trend research is a part of design process basically everywhere, in marketing field, in the packaging design, in fashion, in physical product design. But from your point of view, at what stages it is most useful?
So yeah, you're right that it's present in every stage a little bit, but I think the trend research is the most important on the beginning stage of working with a project. So knowing the market and knowing the market, working with a given topic, and focus on the benchmarks, understanding the project context is one of the most important part.
Okay.
And after that, as you mentioned, this is something that also require a lot of research. This is the communication of the product. So all the marketing part is changing very rapid and respond to the current trends. It's very important there.
That was quite cool that you've mentioned that the launching of the new product is also a stage where trend research is really required. So I believe all of the marketing staff are also can benefit from your work.
Yeah, that's true because marketing is the field of industry which is the most sensitive to trends. So responding very quickly and react what is going on and feel the needs of the potential customers. It's very important. So the way how we communicate our product is something crucial sometimes because the proper communication can change how audience will perceive particular product. Yeah,
that's cool. So you've also mentioned in our previous conversation, you mentioned that you work a lot with the designers, right? So you help them to understand new ideas and trends during the pre-design phase, as we call it at Mindsailors. And I was wondering, how do you prepare for that? How you collect the data? What tools do you use to collect some stuff you can feed to designers and help them to understand the changing world?
As we spoke last time, making prediction about trends based on trend analysis. So, and it is the main role of trend forecasters to inform the decision makers to work with designers or innovators, keep them up to date, how they can change their work or improve a little bit. So that's true that we work with designers, creating workshops, for example. And during that workshop, we work based on the given methodology. So, for example, we analyze trend reports based on surveys. Sometimes different companies work on focus groups or technical data analysis. So I don't know, like this is something that maybe IT more based on.
Mm-hmm.
So during this forecasting process, we can distinguish three main steps, which I'm working on usually. So it's mean that we have a part called gathering, or we can call it differently hunting. And it's mean that we collect as many information as possible. So, looking for inspiring pictures, I don't know, searching on the streets, observing people, participate in different events. And after that, we go to part 2, which is analyzing.
Okay.
So we are looking for different connections between our findings, and looking for some patterns, what we can use. And the last part is making conclusion. So this is the stage when we can think about, so what with these findings? Yeah. So what we have, what we can use, how we can implement that. And this is, of course, the most important stage for the client, because they can receive the action plan for their future work. So yeah, my personal favorite stage is analyzing, because this is the part when you can see, all these patterns between
Emerging
different
from
trends. Yes,
That's cool.
this is the most exciting for me.
Cool. That sounds very methodological, because I believe that a lot of people think that trend watching is a little bit like almost a magical field of design work, that you say something and this happens to be a trend later on just because you said so. And as you mentioned, it's not true. It comes out of your experience and out of analyzing what happens on in the world currently. So how does the client's needs, because you work with business, so how does the client's needs influence your advisory, or what you are saying them that will become a trend?
So the most important is knowing the outcome, what the client want to receive. It's mean that not necessarily they will receive what they want at the end, because sometimes the process will lead you in some different
Direction.
ideas, and different outcome that you predict before, let's say. But usually is important to know that if the client want to focus more on, I don't know, the sustainability, or more on the user-oriented way of working, stuff like that. So it's important to get this brief from the clients, what they are expecting from the trend researcher.
Okay, so they give you the direction or the general goal they're trying to achieve, and you exploring the ways how to get there. Awesome. So I was also wondering when trend analysis became the thing in the product development, where what's the context like where the companies started to put more effort in researching the potential futures, I would say.
So the trend research and forecasting as we know today is quite young. Because in late 60s and 70s, we narrowing user choices to presenting them inspire ideas, directions for product, and so on. After that, in 70s and 80s, we used the connection with enterprise for the future development. So it's mean that forecasters search how the business can develop in the future and try to act somehow and model their behavior. And in late 90s, we receive something that we know nowadays. So trend research and forecasting focus more on the strategy. So not give the exact not prediction. Give the one not prediction. Give one prediction and this is the only way to work, but just give advices and be active in the process and behave more participatory. So be present during the whole process, like we spoke before. Maybe here is worth to mention that, for example, WGSN was launched in 1980. So it's, just a bit younger than us. So it's really something fresh on the market. But it's growing with time. For example, this year there was a triple number of trend reports than was in 2060. For example. So like the topic is growing and definitely is something hot and much more people are interested in. But of course, we can, see the connection even in ancient Greeks when, gods came to oracle and ask for the advice. It's like some, of course, this is something more maybe mystical than we are working on. But somehow I like the connection which we can see to this.
True, it's kind of universal, that need to try to see what the future brings. So yeah, that's exactly that you are a little bit like a clairvoyant Greek, like goddess or something
maybe,
like that.
Yeah. Cool. But for sure, working with the intuition. It's something that was present, like through all the history, like people who were much more aware what is going on around them, were asking for advice, let's say.
Yeah, and so I think all of the creative workers are intuitive in that field because they are doing their best to make up-to-date work, and they know that making that work a physical object, for example, or a building or a piece of clothing always takes time. So you're always a little bit planning ahead. Cool. So you mentioned that trend watching is rooted in business, and you do work with business. And I was wondering what is most useful for the modern day entrepreneurs or business people who are using your work.
So, working with trends for the business is crucial to be competitive on the market, because understanding trends and respond correctly to it and adapt the trends properly into the business can be very beneficial, because we can stood out on the market and show that company want to be more on time with the product. Identification of the trends and analyzing what is going on market can provide the data to the company how to improve their products. For example, how product is sustainable, because it's something that is important right now for the customers, or how it responds for changing needs for the customer. So it's many different areas where product can evolve and change with time, and of course create some new opportunities to grow or to create something new in the offer of the company.
So I was wondering.
Clear?
Yeah, I think it is clear. Like being present on the market is crucial for the highly competitive world that we are living in today. So I think that is the biggest value. So the word trend is in our conversation from the very beginning. But I was wondering, do trends differ? For example, do they differ regarding the magnitude or their impact? Is there any categorization?
Yeah, so this is very common to understand trends as something like trendy, which will be very quickly out of interest of our customers. So it's really important to distinguish this two words from each other. And for example, PT Black from Jigsaw say that cool hunting is extremely toxic term. It suggests someone who just sits there waiting for someone cool to walk by. But studying trends is much more than focusing on the aesthetic part. Analyzing trends correctly can provide information or significant shifts on consumer behavior. And this is something that I always want to underline, that we could distinguish three type of trends. One of it is mega trends. This is something that we all face with. They exist for a very long time, and they give bigger picture. They must be global, and they unfold their potential with the time somehow.
Okay.
So to be more clear, I will give you an example. For example, aging society could be a mega trend because lifespan of our generation is much longer than it was in a previous era.
Yeah.
And of course, the medicine is changing, so it's easier to be healthy for a longer time. And we have much more people on the planet. So it's something that we can't control in general, but it affects
Yeah.
our existence. Yeah. Another example could be technological disruptions. So we observe how AI is growing,
Everywhere.
and yeah, and it's everywhere and is visible in our everyday life. So we can't decide if it influence us as a people. Um, and so the second category are trends, or differently called macro trends,
Okay.
and they are usually a bit smaller, could be visible only in a part of a globe. So it's not
So they're not
necessary
just that general, not that big, right? Or
exactly. And usually we can divide trends into steep, which mean there are different categories where these trends can go or somehow be defined by. So steep mean that we have a category like sociological, technological, economical, environmental, political, and they are changing over the time, and they can decrease or increase with this time. And usually we can observe something like cont trend. So, for example, when we have when we have I don't know, growing interest in DIYs, for example, they will be other group of people who are much more focusing on industrialization and try to rely much more on technology.
okay.
And example that I can give here is, for example, work evolution.
Hmm.
So after COVID pandemic, way of hiring people change. Much more employees want to work from home. We want to have flexible hours of working. Yes. And for example, working time of working in one company is changing. So we have different way how we can react to this trend, and we have choice if you want to participate in this or no. So for example, you can still be a person who want to work from 8 to 5 in the office and just behind your desk, and don't want to be influenced by this trends that I don't know, working from home is possible.
Okay.
And the last one, the smallest one,
Smallest
and
category of different signals of change, right?
exactly. There are fads, differently called microtrends, and they could be long acting, but usually they move very quickly. So it be very visible in the fashion industry or in beauty industry, where given, I don't know, haircut will be very visible in this season. So usually time of living this trend is very short.
Okay.
But usually it's very strong, and it's important to notice that we are nowadays existing in a hyper cycle of trends, and appearing platforms like TikTok or Instagrams generate much more trends, which are usually visible only in the digital
Yeah.
sphere. So it's a bit tricky.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I think about the examples here, and probably fidget spinner is something very
Came in mind.
obvious
Yeah.
here, and worth mention. But also what we can observe right now, watching same like Netflix could be trend like this. So like people like very become very engaged in it, but very quickly lost their interest in such a trend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is closest thing to the stereotypical trendy,
Exactly.
like trendy stuff.
But it's important to remember that the overconsumption of trends can be contributing factor in growing waste, landfills of waste, and we need to be responsible in this matter. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. These I really like that you've shown us the different types of trends and the different impact they can make, because some of them are stuff that will influence basically every category in our life, or every field of a human activity, and some of them are just like marketing stunts that are created to make us buy more or make us consume more. So that's a very aware and interesting way of looking at the trend cycle, as you mentioned. I think one more. I'm not sure if we're gonna use it or not, but I would, due to the fact that this field of work is fascinating for me, I really like it, and maybe some of people who will listen to it consider it this as well, a fascinating subject. I was wondering, do you have any additional links to maybe check out if someone is a little bit more interested in trends or books or podcasts or stuff like that?
Yeah, so for sure I can give you a list or links because it will be easier. You
Yeah.
can add it in the description. But for sure, observing platforms like WGSN or trend watching are the very basic of this area. Uh, but also participating in different events. It could be about trends or technology or fashion or design or culture. But I think it's very important to be present in the world. So don't lose the interest about people and see what is going on. About the books, I will recommend the English version of books, How to Research Trends. But I don't know the name. I don't remember the name of the publishing house of it, but we can check it. And also, a really nice handbook is Trend Sociology, which really explain very well the basic of the trend research and how it changed during the time. What's more, maybe it's worth to mention that usually trend reports appear at the beginning of the year. And I think this is the best time
moment,
good moment of checking what is going on, because there is a lot of consulting consulting brands or
some of them are sharing their reports for free, right? So it's
exactly. So this is for example, Pinterest share their reports every year, which give this very trendy this short term trends advices. So
yeah, cool. I will definitely add those stuff to my reading list. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the conversation, and see you around, Basia.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope our conversation will be helpful in your future work.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.